What's up, y'all? It's Poppin' with Cracking It's D. About to react to this TroyceTv vid is titled "Why Pretty Privilege Is Not a Good Thing." Oh, want to hear what he has to say about this. I remember reacting to a video not too long ago where this white lady, I forgot her name, but she was trying to say being ugly is the new thing. I was not convinced from that video. If you remember the title, please let me know. It's slipping my mind at the moment, but whatever she was saying in that video, I'm like, girl, bye. But I want to hear what he has to say about this whole situation. Let's watch.
Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Another thing about pretty privilege is people want to do more for you. I'm going to repeat that. If you want to do a lot less and get a lot more, pretty privilege is what you need, okay? Now, you can create it. Look, y'all know how I be looking with no makeup on. But when I want to be treated a little extra, when I want to get a little extra neck turn, head twists, and extra privilege and free stuff and all that kind of stuff, I put on my pretty privilege. I put it on. Okay? And I know people are going to say, oh, you look pretty without all of that. But I look prettier with whatever I choose to create, whatever look I choose to create, and I can get more.
Hi, my loves. It's Destin Troyce, and you're watching TroyceTv. I'm going out later, and I wanted to get on here and simply discuss pretty privilege and why it's not a good thing like people like to hype it up to be. I've talked about this in the past, but I wanted to get on here and talk about it recently because I've seen a lot of prime examples on why pretty privilege is not a good thing. The most common example is the Luigi Mangione situation.
Handcuffed, shackled, and wearing a crew neck sweater, Luigi Mangione is escorted to a New York City courtroom where he is told he faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder. Mangione is accused of gunning down Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, as the executive arrived at a Manhattan hotel for a shareholder meeting earlier this month. Mangione's lawyer says he deserves the presumption of innocence.
Now, essentially, I didn't understand why people were so obsessed with this story or why I hear about it probably at least once a day since it happened. But I now realize that the reason why people talk about it is because people are infatuated by how attractive that man is.
He's a good-looking kid. I mean, he's 26, but he's a good-looking kid. I mean, the eyebrows behind the mask, the distinctive eye. He's fit.
Beautiful smile.
Yeah, beautiful smile. He's a fit guy.
What do you think about Luigi Mangione?
Rob. Next
Girl.
What do you guys think of Luigi Mangione?
Woo! Zoom in.
Look at that.
Oh, he's so hot. Luigi Mangione?
Yeah.
I've never seen him before, but I mean, he's a cutie, you know.
Out of 10.
I'm gonna give him like a 7.3, you know.
He just got arrested for the murder of the CEO.
Oh yeah.
She's so slow.
Oh.
Girl, where were
Okay.
you?
Maybe the balls wanna give him like an 8.2.
Would you pay his bail?
I'll pay some of it.
Girl.
Does he have a killer body?
Yes. He does have a killer body.
Luigi finally killed the big boss.
He looks more like a Mario to me, that's all.
And with
You know what I
the
mean?
Monopoly money?
He received more than
Luigi finally
140
killed the big boss
messages,
is
and that number
crazy.
includes 54 emails,
Very clever,
87
though.
physical letters. He also got, and this is where you'll need the whiskey, 163 money deposits into his
All right,
commissary.
y'all gotta get a goddamn life.
That's cash that allows him to buy snacks.
That's
and other
embarrassing.
Items, just free money.
Now, in my personal opinion, I don't see the hype with his appearance, and that's just my personal perspective.
I was thinking that too. I mean, he's not bad looking. Obviously, he's like conventionally attractive, but it's not like, oh my God, dreamboat or whatever, whatever whatever people say. But, but furthermore, y'all are thirsty and embarrassing. Those of you who have sent money to put on his books.
But he does benefit from pretty privilege, hence why he's been able to get a lot of letters from fans and people wearing
It is so funny because I've heard white people say that in movies, like white girls specifically call dudes dreamboats, but I've never heard that in real life. That's why it's funny. Anyway.
Luigi hats and Luigi t-shirts, literally flaunting and uplifting him, even though he's on trial right now for being accused of the offing of the United Health CEO of New York City. This dude could probably even get the death penalty or do life in prison, and people are sitting up here glorifying his physical appearance. This does nothing but show me how really shallow and overbearing humans are and how stupid people can be. And why the hell...
I thought his point was how it's not a good thing for the person, the pretty person. But maybe he's saying it's not a good thing for society, I guess. But I don't know. I thought he was going to make the point that it's not benefiting him. But in this case, it is benefiting him.
Effect is very evil. Now, a lot of times we don't realize that pretty privilege is rooted in the halo effect. A lot of times people always associate people who are good looking as more approachable and more easy to tolerate and deal with. I mean, when you see princess movies and Disney movies, you see that the handsome guy with the chiseled jawline and the nice chest is always the one that's popular. People love him, people like him. But what people don't realize is even the most attractive people can be some of the most sinister, most diabolical people you could ever meet. I'm sure some of y'all watching this fell for the charmer or fell for the person with the pretty face, and then you realize that they were just as dumb as rocks and had no substance to them. And that's why a lot of people who are essentially attractive don't trust a lot of people, because a lot of people sometimes fantasize about how attractive they are and sexualize them. And that's why people who are attractive and pretty are always exploiting and using people, because they have all these advantages that regular people, regular looking people, don't have.
Another thing about pretty privilege is people want to do more for you. I'm going to repeat that. If you want to do a lot less and get a lot more, pretty privilege.
Who didn't look like her, who was built like a fucking fridge, was talking about some, he ate lunch, he ate it for lunch, bitch, I'm a baddie, I get what I want. Like, you really think the average looking girl can get away with doing that and wearing the shit she was wearing? She's a beautiful girl and she was able to benefit from pretty privilege, and that helped her career. However, part of her pretty privilege was her body. And because she doesn't have the body that's seen as a standard, where she lost a lot of weight, people are now defiling her and saying the most awful things about how unattractive she is, and she might be on some substances and she got issues. Meanwhile, this girl could have some health issues. And then there's someone like Aaliyah J. Aaliyah J was a very popular YouTuber back in like 2016, 2017, still insanely popular and very wealthy. And essentially, she got a lot of her popularity from doing makeup tutorials and hair tutorials. But part of why she's so successful is because she's insanely pretty. I mean, when I first came across Aaliyah J, the only reason I even clicked on her video was because she did a story time and she looked really, really nice in the thumbnail. That's part of the reason why a lot of people even clicked on her videos.
But also, since I met the side chick, that's very interesting. Like, oh, what happened?
She looks amazing. Look at her.
Yeah,
but
she's gorgeous.
In recent months, I don't know what it was. It might be a recent relationship or depression. She's gained a lot of weight. And due to the fact that she gained a lot of weight,
I was not expecting that. No, Troy. It might be a recent relationship or depression. I haven't seen her in a while, though. Honestly,
she's gained a lot of weight.
I feel like the last time I saw her, she was around that size. Maybe she's gained a little bit more weight. But I feel like she's gradually put on weight over the years. Because every now and then I would see her pop up here and there, you know, over the years. And every time I saw her, I feel like, you know, she just seemed like she was just gradually putting on a bit of weight. But, you know, I never thought much of it. Like, some people, you know, as they get older, they put on a little weight. It's not like she obese. Like, what?
Due to the fact that she gets a lot of weight, a lot of people have been picking her apart on TikTok, social media, and saying the most disgusting things, saying, oh, she really let herself go. She's probably going through something. She looks awful. She looks so bad now.
What if she's pregnant? Y'all ain't shit. Well, how long has... maybe.
And
never mind. But that's really fucked up.
She even had to respond to all the backlash she was getting, and even though she said that she don't give a fuck what people think, it was very clear that it definitely did affect her on a deeper level.
Okay, I have gained weight, and it's okay. Like, it's a body. Bodies change. Like, my body's not gonna stay the same. I'm getting older. I just turned 30. What do you want me to do about it?
We'll talk about it then.
Okay, you think I'm gaining weight. You see I'm gaining weight. What the fuck do you want me to do about that?
Girl, you can do a lot of things. Okay, and this is... and I even have to backpedal what I just said. I'll talk about it at the end. I'll remember, I promise.
Like, really, what do you want me to do about that? It's my body. I don't know.
But it is her body.
Do you see her anywhere? News flash. You're not gonna.
Because when you set the standard of being beautiful and when you hold yourself up to the standard of being beautiful and being a fly girl, people are going to expect you to hold this standard up. It's not like that for just women. It's like that for men too. That's why men who are insanely attractive most times stay in the gym. It's not always just the fact they just want to be in the gym to look right. Some of them stay in the gym because their looks are their money makers. It's proven that a lot of servers and waitresses and bartenders are more likely to get tips if they're insanely attractive. If you are more attractive than the average person, to the point where people are always talking about your looks and complimenting your looks, you more than likely benefit from pretty privilege rather than you're a
Get off
man
his
or a
dick.
woman.
Y'all are embarrassed.
And 9 times out of 10, you have gotten opportunities because you're pretty, and you have gotten opportunities because
maybe I missed it because I was looking down for a second, but was those just random niggas that just took out their phone and started recording him just because? Whatever.
Handsome. And the reason why is because people are shallow. It's the halo effect. It's a sinister effect that basically implies that people deem you as more approachable and more tolerable to be around because you're simply nice to look at. Megan Good recently went on Raven Simone's podcast, and she essentially said that her being aesthetically attractive has benefited her, but it has done nothing but work against her.
What is your experience being as pretty as you are in this
I was
world?
gonna say, do you think it hindered you from taking roles
Do you
that you wanted
recognize
to,
it?
or did you want to, or do you think you're right?
Both. Both. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into something and I had an audition. They were like, she was great, but we don't realistically believe her as this character because she's, a pretty girl. And we just don't feel like. And I'm like, how can you determine what that character should look like, or even what I will look like when I, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or we've already hired the lead guy. We don't buy that he could get her. Or I'm like, how? I'm like, that's you doing the character disservice, because that means you're saying that she's just only about the look.
And I completely understood what she was saying, because when you're
I get
as
what they're
pretty as
saying,
she
too, though.
is, people automatically put you in the box of being.
And also, if they have a vision for the movie and they want it to be like a relatable, like basic, I don't know, normal couple, and if you got a normal looking guy and they said, okay, we already cast him, it kind of wouldn't make sense if then they casted you and you're like super pretty. It's like, okay, it kind of fucks up the image, and the vision that they have. So I mean, I see both sides, honestly. So yeah.
Stuck up. When you're attractive,
But I also see her being annoyed by that. Like, what the fuck?
people will do things to try to humble you, for example. Like, they'll purposely not give someone like Megan Good any roles because they feel like, oh yeah, well, you're just too pretty for this. You're just not regular looking enough. Then when it comes to having female friends, if you're a woman or you're a man with male friends, people will try to humble you.
I don't think in the case of the movies, though, they're trying to humble her because it's gorgeous, attractive people who are in the industry. That's kind of the point. They're around those type of people all the time. But I could see them, like I just explained, I could see them being like, okay, you don't fit this mold. And you fit other molds, because then you have other roles where it's like, okay, yeah, this character is supposed to be drop dead gorgeous, so yeah, we want to cast you. You feel me? So in that case, I don't feel like they're trying to humble her, but I feel like what he about to say, I agree with.
To compete with you without you even trying to compete. When you have privilege, like being aesthetically attractive, people will try to talk down to compete with male friends. People will try to humble you and try to compete with you without you even trying to compete.
He said male friends.
Then it's like, oh yeah, well, you're just too pretty for this. You're just not regular looking enough. Then when it comes to having female friends, if you're a woman or you're a man with male friends, people will try to humble you and try to compete with you without you even trying to compete. When you have privilege, like being aesthetically attractive, people will try to talk down on you, make it seem like you ain't shit, try to compete with you, look at you crazy when you walk into a room, act stink, and not like you for any reason. I've heard countless stories of a lot of my male and female friends who have aesthetically appealing privilege, who get oftentimes told, oh, I thought you were going to be stuck up, or I thought you had...
But here's the thing, though. Yes, they have that disadvantage, but I would argue that they have way more advantages that outweigh this. So it's like, yeah, some people do judge you. Some people do treat you poorly because they are jealous. But I feel like you have way more people who are willing to bend over backwards for you, like the Sprinkle lady said, and who are willing to, want to be your friend. There are a lot of women who want to be friends with other pretty girls. So I would argue that it's way more people who are working to your advantage than to your disadvantage. It's way harder to be an ugly person in society. So it's like, sure, it's not a good thing in some circumstances, but you have way more going for you if we're being honest.
That attitude. I thought you had all these people on your phone and all these guys talking to you. That's why I didn't care to compliment you. I didn't care to gas you up. People will try to humble you because they're obsessed or intimidated with your physical appearance. Somebody may be easing on the eyes, but always see them for their character and the substance that they have. The reason I feel like that's so important is because when you look at someone like Jeremy Beeks, for example, he's the prime example of why pretty...
I thought he was creepy looking. He reminds me of like that snake, the albino snake. That's what it's giving. Like I never thought he was fine, and they tried to like release his mugshot and force him on us and be like, "Oh, he's so beautiful," and I'm like, something's off about his face.
Which isn't always a good thing.
No shade, but
he is super aesthetically attractive, and as y'all know, Jeremy Meeks went viral for being a whole fucking felon. There was a whole hashtag when he went viral back in like 2014 for being the quote-unquote felon bae, and people glamorized him, gave him modeling contracts, and the same thing they're doing to Luigi is the same thing they did to Jeremy Meeks.
And I'm not saying he's ugly, obviously. This is not an ugly man, but I didn't see the hype, and I'm just like, whatever.
Back in 2014 because he had a mugshot that went viral. And the first thing I think to myself is, even back then, why is someone like Jeremy Meeks ridiculously famous and super duper rich? Why? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. So this is working for him.
Talented. I don't think that he's an ugly person, but why is he insanely successful, shooting to the top and getting all these opportunities?
Does he not look like
what a visible appearance? He literally was a gangbanger, a criminal, and was literally charged with possession of a gun. And he's glamorized and getting invited to all these Hollywood parties and getting invited here and there. They're trying to throw modeling contracts at him. This alone just shows you why people who have pretty privilege oftentimes do have big egos, or why they can sometimes be sinister. Because if people perceive you for being really attractive and people are always judging you for being attractive, this is why people who are super pretty always exploit it to their advantage. It's the fact that we have situations like Jennifer Love Hewitt's. If y'all didn't know, the beautiful Jennifer Love Hewitt, who we all know from I Know What You Did Last Summer, and whom we all know from The Ghost Whisperer, she reached into the podcast and she essentially said that when she basically started aging, she got a lot of insecurities that came out of nowhere. When she started aging, and because she's known for being so beautiful.
In the industry especially. I don't say all, but a lot of women, especially in the industry where a camera is constantly on you and you're constantly being picked apart for the way that you look.
It really affected her mental health, that people were talking down on her physical appearance. So she then went out of her way to go get surgery.
At 23, 24, 25, I didn't feel self-confident. I felt watched. I felt like I had to be everything for everybody all the time. I was called sexy before I ever knew what being sexy was. So it's beautiful. But aging in Hollywood is really hard. It's really hard because
now she got some good surgery done. She looks great.
Can't do anything right. You know, I had this thing like a few weeks ago, and this is what made me text you about it. I was getting my hair done, and I had not a stitch of makeup on, so I threw on a filter, and it was just a filter that, like, at the time looked nice in the light at the salon. I really gave it no thought, and I put it on, and the picture ended up somewhere, and a bunch of people were like, Jennifer Love Hewitt is unrecognizable. Natural, no filter, like trying to make fun of it. And then they came after me for that. And they were like, well, now she's just defending herself. And like, why is she And I realized I was like, I can do no right.
And why are you focusing so much on these assholes who have nothing better to do than to put you down?
Because to pretend that we don't is a lie.
I know. You're right.
We're human.
I understand that, but I don't know. I just feel like as a celebrity, like that would make me want to check out even more. I already check out, and I'm not even, nearly on their level. But I have to disconnect to a certain degree. I mean, I do connect a bit, like definitely on my Patreon. I'm very active, and on my second channel, I will comment, but I'm not about to be involved in every little thing that's being said about me or people disagreeing with me or whatever the case. That would drive me crazy. So I just don't understand when I see celebrities do it. I'm like, you're a celebrity. So, because of course it's going to bother you because you are human. But yeah.
And it's dangerous what we put on people. It's dangerous, I think, to say to women, you can't look like you're not 22 to me anymore because I don't know how to take that.
Getting that surgery wasn't good enough because, I mean, look at her. Even though she's not ugly, she don't look the same. She look a little different.
Because she older, Troy. She looks great.
But she really only got all that surgery to try to accommodate people.
I'm not tripping. She looks good to me.
She is so obsessed with the pretty privilege that she once had. She was known for being one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood.
He's talking about she don't look the same. That's literally what these people are talking about because y'all expect people to have the same face their entire lives, which is so fucking weird and bizarre. And yeah, that's why they be getting these surgeries and like going through these depressions and whatnot, because people criticize them so heavily and they make comments like, oh, she look different, or she aging, because that's what human beings do who are alive. they age and they start to look kind of different because they're getting older. You're not gonna have the same face your entire life. I don't know. But I think she looks great.
She's so obsessed with that label and that title that she went to go get surgery to maintain it. And because she can't maintain that same standard that she created or allowed people to put on her, now it affects her mental health and how people perceive her and view her and see her. Pretty privilege is all fun and games until you realize that you can no longer benefit from it. Even though it may be overbearing for those who are beautiful, men and women, it's really insane how you pour so much into it and try to, sustain it like you would a nice fit body or, a nice toned butt. You realize that when you don't get the benefits that you once had, all of a sudden your confidence comes crashing down. That's why you should put all your confidence in your looks.
This is obviously when she first came up.
Cardi B has gotten an absurd amount of work done, and it honestly amazes me because I think Cardi B is one of the most beautiful women ever. Like, I loved her natural face. I loved how she looked before the surgery, even though she's not hideous now. But for her to get all that surgery just goes to show that her being a dancer and her being beautiful is what saved her. Her being pretty is what got attention in the media. Her being sexy is what got attention in the media. And she feels like she has to sustain that, hence why she's always going under the knife and cutting her body up and reshaping her body from like a hippopotamus to an ant to an hourglass, and you just never know. She's 10 faces deep into her career.
All right,
and I don't understand why she feels like she has to keep getting work done. What did you add to this world? What was your value?
Because people trolled her and people made fun of her, and they said she liked that Mexican dude from Training Day. And when she was at the airport, they really made fun of her looks. Back then, when she looked like this, you were saying, oh, she was the most beautiful person I ever saw. A lot of people disagreed. Okay, so they didn't like her face, and they trolled her, and that's why she got surgery.
Well, don't put all your confidence in your beauty or your looks, because looks fade.
So, and that's the thing, too. It's like, nobody wins. Because people felt like she wasn't attractive, and she then got surgery to look attractive. So, it's not a good thing for her either. And yet, ugly people, they struggle a lot in life, so it's also not good for them. And you talking about pretty people who get older and have to deal with the ramifications of getting older, and everybody talking shit about them. What you think it's like for ugly people? It's like you already busted and now you old and busted. You got it even worse. You feel me? So it's like I would argue that it's not a good thing to be busted either. I mean, obviously it's fucked up because it's not fair. The state of our society, it just is what it is. But obviously you can't change how you look. I mean, you can try to get surgery, but you can't change your natural face the way you were born. But yeah, it's not it's just not good for ugly people, and that they have it worse. So I'm just sorry, I can't get with this whole argument of people trying to normalize being like, oh, pretty people got it bad and it's hard for them, and it's not a good thing, and they're struggling, y'all. Pretty people are struggling. It's like, let's be honest. Ugly people are struggling way worse. If you're busted, you are struggling way worse than somebody who's attractive. And that's just, it is what it is. What it really comes down to is everybody has their own struggles. Everybody struggles. Whether you rich, poor, ugly, beautiful, everybody has struggles. Fat, skinny, whatever. Because even the people who are skinny and like fit, they got to keep going to the gym. That's a hard. What do they always say? Pick your hard. Going to the gym all the time and eating healthy is hard, but so is being fat and getting obese and, possibly dying early or whatever the case, and having everybody talk about you and being insecure about the way you look. It's like everybody has difficulties. So, that's what it really comes down to. But this narrative of people trying to pinpoint that, oh, but pretty people, they got it bad. Like, everybody has it bad, but ugly people have it way worse. Same thing with rich people. You can point out these famous rich celebrities, they got it bad. Yeah, they get harassed. People, are always scrutinizing them, bullying them into getting surgery. Like, yeah, they have it bad, but poor people have it worse. When they struggling to pay their bills and, struggling to get by and they living paycheck to paycheck, you can't tell me that they're not struggling worse, because they are. You feel me? So these type of videos, I'm like, all right.
Over time, them strong ass teeth y'all got in your mouth, yeah, they're gonna fall out real soon.
Ooh.
You got that big ass butt that you have is gonna sag real soon. Yeah, that nice chiseled six pack you have, life can hit you at any moment where you'll get stressed out, kids will stress you out, and you'll get a big old pot belly anytime. Life happens to everybody, so don't put all your confidence in your looks and your skin. Put all your confidence in who you are as a person. So that way, when people shit on you for your looks, be like, I don't care. Oh, well, I got more than just my looks. I got X, Y, and Z.
Okay, I spoke too soon. He brought it back around and basically said what I said at the end. But I just feel like this is a new thing that I've seen lately. Aside from the other video that I watched and this one, I've seen like titles of vids that have popped up on my homepage where people are trying to imply that, being pretty is going out of style and it's working against you and da da da. And it's like, all right. What we're not going to do is gaslight the public. Like, we all know that, you know, if people could take a pill, one being beautiful, one being busted, they're going to be beautiful every time. All right, yes, beautiful people got struggles, but their struggles are not nearly as bad as people who are busted. And that's just the sad reality. All right, so that's my take on it. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!